viewers, welcome to Tribune Online TV. This is another juicy edition of the weekly newspaper review where we bring to you top stories and big headlines during the week. I am Ronke Soya.
Welcome once again, viewers. I'm doing Adjoyi. I'll be starting with issues on terrorism. The Saturday Tribune reported 30 killed in Borno, 41 Boko Haram members beheaded in Borno. I'll be starting with issues on terrorism. 30 killed in Gombe bomb, 41 Boko Haram members beheaded in Borno. More than 30 people died and many got injured on Friday morning when a bomb went off at a popular motor park in Gombe State. 3 suspects were, however, arrested in connection with the explosion, while the State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Kudu Umar, told newsmen in Gombe that a vehicle with an inscription, "Yubi Line," was reported to have brought the suspected bombers to the state. Meanwhile, a team of soldiers and members of the vigilance group, otherwise known as civilian JTF, have reportedly killed 41 Boko Haram members during a gun battle in Go near Mandafuma village in Biu local government area of Adamawa State. Also, in a related development, Boko Haram burns the defense chief's house in that Adamawa. You can read more on that on Tribune.com.
On page 4 of Sunday Tribune, latest Shekal's video rattles Chibok elders. As alleged Boko Haram leader Abubakar Shekau released another video distancing his group from any ceasefire deal with Nigerian authorities. Elders in Chibok community have expressed worry over alleged inconsistencies from the officials pertaining to the whereabouts of the over 200 girls abducted over 6 months ago. Leader of the embattled elders, Paul Gu Bitrus, said they were not surprised by the latest development because over the period they have endured the trauma of the missing girls and had continued to be in suspense about the safe return of the girls. Also, on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune on Tuesday, the Deputy Governor of Borno State has cried out, Boko Haram may capture entire Northeast. The Deputy Governor of Borno State, Zana Mustafa, in Yola, Adamawa State on Monday said, going by the rate at which Boko Haram was capturing territories in Adamawa, Borno and Yobe, the 3 northeastern states might soon become history. Still on terrorism, on page 8 of Nigerian Tribune on Tuesday, 1 killed as gunmen free 144 inmates in Kogi. Terrorists suspected to be Boko Haram members, numbering 50, armed with improvised explosive device and AK-47 rifles, on Sunday night between 10 p.m. and 11 p.m. attacked Hotel Cafe minimum prisons in Kogi State and set 144 inmates free, leaving 1 dead. The terrorists were reported to have arrived in 4 Hilux and a siren-blaring vehicle, which made them to avoid security check and operated for more than 2 hours without hindrance. Do you have more stories on terrorism?
Yes, the release of the Chibok girls, Wednesday edition of the Nigerian Tribune reported, Chibok girls no deal with Boko Haram, Council of State. Governor Goodwill Akpabio on Tuesday revealed that though negotiations are ongoing to free the over 200 Chibok secondary school girls that were abducted by Boko Haram insurgents, no deal has been reached contrary to earlier reports. He told State House correspondents after a meeting of the Council of State presided over by President Goodluck Jonathan at the Presidential Villa Abuja that the National Security Advisor, NSA, Colonel Sambo Dazuki, retired, briefed the Council on the progress of the talks. Now, in a related development, peace talks with Boko Haram still on track. That was from the Chadian president. Chad's President Idris Deby said on Tuesday that peace talks between the Nigerian government and Boko Haram are still on track. Deby said that the talk was in progress in spite of a recently released video which showed Boko Haram's leader Abubakar Shekau that the Chibok girls had been married to his fighters.
Insurgency, on Thursday edition of Nigerian Tribune and on page 3, Boko Haram seized our girls, gave us 5,000 naira parents. As the survivors of the Boko Haram attack on the town of Mubi continued to flee, a family man who fled to Kano had told the British Broadcasting Corporation (BBC) Hausa in an interview that parents were forced to collect 5,000 naira and surrender their daughters to the insurgents. Similarly, A woman who also fled to Kano said some airplanes were shot down during the encounter, while some soldiers who were either dead or injured were seen on the bush path they took as escape routes. We'll be back with more stories on politics after this little timeout.
In a desperate plea for help on Friday, a report here says Boko Haram may overrun Adamawa Governor cries out, begs military for more troops. That was on page 7 of the Friday edition of Nigerian Tribune. Adamawa State Governor Mr. James Ungilari has pleaded with the military authorities to deploy more troops to the state in order to prevent it from being overrun by the Boko Haram insurgents. Speaking with the State House correspondents after a meeting with President Goodluck Jonathan in Abuja on Thursday, it disclosed that 5 local government areas in the state are falling into the hands of the terrorists. We just hope and pray that his plea will be responded to as soon as possible.
And that's true, because even the Deputy Governor of Borno State has cried out that the northeastern part of Nigeria might become history as a result of insurgency. We pray that the federal government intervenes soon and the story of Boko Haram becomes history in Nigeria. We'll be back with more stories on politics after this time out.
Welcome back. We're going straight into politics. And the story here that made major headlines during the course of the week was that of Tambuwa's defection. Saturday Tribune reported Tambuwa sues federal government over plot to remove him as Speaker. Southwest PDP schemes for speakership. That was on page 4 of the Saturday edition. Speaker of the House of Representatives Aminu Tambuwa and his new party, the All Progressive Congress (APC), on Friday dragged the federal government and 6 others before the Federal High Court, Abuja, over attempts to declare his seat vacant and the withdrawal of his security aids. Meanwhile, top leaders of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in the southwest geopolitical zone have made representation to President Goodluck Jonathan, asking him to return the position of the Speaker of the House of Representatives to the zone in the aftermath of the defection of Speaker Aminu Tambuwa. Reacting to that, Lagos MBA lawyers fault withdrawal of Tambuwa's security. Some lawyers in Lagos State on Friday faulted the withdrawal of the security aids of Aminu Tambuwa. The lawyers told the news agency of Nigeria, NAN, that this development posed a danger to Nigeria's democracy. Do you have an update on Tambuwa's issue?
Yeah, still on Tambuwa on page 5 of Nigerian Tribune on Thursday. PDP rules members with automatic tickets, Tambuwa says. Leaders of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, across the geopolitical zones are coalescing opinions on the need for a big move against the defected Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Aminu Waziri Tambuwa. As party leaders from the zones are strategizing to produce Tambuwa's successor, it was gathered that the party was seriously contemplating automatic return tickets for most of its members as a way of sustaining its leadership of the House of Representatives.
The Monday edition reported Tambuwa Ihedioha should take charge, PDP. That was on page 2 of Monday Tribune. Following counter moves from the camp of Speaker of the House of Representatives, Aminu Tambuwa, to host as deputy who remains loyal to the People's Democratic Party, PDP, leaders of the party have decided to adopt a 2-point strategy to host the defected Speaker. In another development, nothing must happen to Tambuwa NLC. The Nigerian Labour Congress NLC has demanded the immediate restoration of the security detail of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Aminu Tambuwa, which was withdrawn, warning that nothing should happen to Tambuwa. The NLC, in a statement signed by the union's General Secretary, Dr. Peter Ozo-Ezon, regarded the act implemented by the police and other security agencies as shameful, distasteful, unconstitutional, and demonstrated parochial sense of power and very little knowledge of history.
Tambuwa story. Court stops reps. A federal high court in Abuja on Monday stopped the House of Representatives from reconvening before November 7. when the suit brought before it by the Speaker of the House, Honorable Aminu Tambuwa, will be heard. Tambuwa had approached the court through an ex-parte application seeking an order of interim injunction, stopping the House of Representatives from reconvening and removing him from office pending the determination of the suit he filed last week. And also on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune on Tuesday, PDP reps get go-ahead to sack Tambuwa. Members of the House of Representatives on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, have been given orders on Monday by the presidency and leadership of the PDP to get Honorable Tambuwa out of his seat as Speaker, following his defection from the party to the All Progressive Congress, APC. The leadership of the PDP considered Tambuwa's defection as an affront on democracy and the party.
In another update on the issues between PDP and Tambuwa, the Wednesday edition of Nigerian Tribune reported PDP rep split over Tambuwa, majority leader exposes Ihediowa Ogo over defection plots. That was on page 54 of the Wednesday Tribune. There appears to be crack on the People's Democratic Party PDP caucus and the House of Representatives over the defection of the Speaker Aminu Tambuwa, as both the House leader Honorable Mulikat Adiola Okonde and a deputy Honorable Leo Ogo traded blames over the knowledge of the defection. Speaking with newsmen in Abuja on Tuesday, the House leader confirmed that she attended the meeting of the principal officers of the House, which took place at the guest house of the Deputy Speaker the previous night of Tambuwa's defection, where it was agreed that the House should adjourn till December 3, adding that the issue of defection was never mentioned. Whether it was mentioned or not, I just hope the issue is resolved soon.
Yes, because the resolving is what will benefit the people.
Alright, moving on, there's a story here that says we are the best since independence, Jonathan. That was on page 49 of Saturday Tribune. The presidency on Friday assessed the performance of previous Nigerian leaders since independence and concluded that even though they did well within the circumstances they found themselves, none of them achieved half of what President Goodluck Jonathan has done in 4 years. Personally, I think the masses will be in a better place to make that assessment. They've witnessed different governments, they know what they want, and they are in the better position to make comparison. What do you think?
Because the people are those experiencing where we are at the receiving end of the leadership of the president. And moving away from politics, on page 15 of Thursday edition of Nigerian Tribune, TB Joshua absent at coroner's inquest. The founder of the Synagogue Church of All Nations, Prophet Temitope Joshua, was yesterday absent at the coroner inquest into the collapse of a 6-story building in that story. Pick up a copy of Nigerian Tribune newspaper, or you log on to our website www.tribune.com.ng. And on business story, Nigeria requires 2.3 trillion naira yearly to fund infrastructure, Okonjo Iweala. As Nigeria continues to grapple with infrastructure deficits, the coordinating Minister of the Economy and Minister of Finance, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, speaking at a training on Public-Private Partnership (PPP) on Monday in Abuja, has disclosed that a whopping 2.3 trillion naira, that's equivalent to $14 billion, is required to fund infrastructure in the country.
Now, a sad story here, Saturday Tribune reported robbers raid bank in Ekiti, a first-generation bank and a police station in Ifaki. A first-generation bank and a police station in Ifaki, Ekiti State, were on Friday attacked by suspected armed robbers. Sources in the community claim that the robbers, about 30, were armed with sophisticated weapons. That's all we have on this edition. Until we meet next time, log on to our website www.tribune.com.ng and make sure you get copies of the Tribune titles, the Saturday Tribune, the Sunday Tribune, and the Nigerian Tribune editions. Till then, I remain doing adieu. See you next time.
And from me, keep reading the most widely read newspapers, the Nigerian Tribune titles. Have a lovely week ahead. I remain Ronke Sonya. Bye.